real quick, this is my alt channel, and my main channel is in danger every day of getting banned as a result of talking with these amazing people very candidly. So please do me a favor and subscribe down below. Helps me out a lot. Get the hell on it, doggone it. So we're talking about the Boogie, and I've had Boogie on my show several times. Several times. And Boogie's always been super nice to me. But you know, look, it's become apparent that Boogie don't give a fuck. Or maybe he just thinks he's never going to get caught. You know? Boogie has he's said that his haters were worse than Nazis. Because Nazis at least believed in something, he said. He asked for people after losing $400,000 or $500,000 on crypto. He asked his viewers to give him just $1 because he lost all of his money in crypto because he's kind of dumb. And then he scammed his fans. Well, let's back up a little bit. 2 years ago, he released a video claiming he had cancer. He was like, I have cancer, guys. This is it, right? I had cancer. Well, then he launched support for a crypto coin called Fatty and got paid $10,000 to do so. And it was obviously a fake coin, not a fake coin, but it was gone immediately. You know, like the episode in South Park, it's gone. So that was gone. And he said he didn't realize people were actually going to buy into it. He thought only millionaires would buy it, not his audience, obviously. So then that was over. And now we're only a week later. And Boogie has been pretty much caught with his pants around his ass, not illegitimately having the cancer that he claimed he had 2 years ago. And Destiny pretty much locked him down. We're going to play all this shit. But thank you, Trads Beardsman with a 199. Love you, buddy. Can't stick around. Thank you, Trad. I love you, man. After this all happened, Boogie deleted his Twitter. And he's implying he's going to delete his YouTube as well and sell his house and give the money away. Which kind of sounds like, because everybody was like, well, what are you going to do then? Kind of sounds like he's implying he's going to swallow a bowl of 9mm. That's kind of what he's kind of implying here. So we're gonna jump right into the clippies. So make sure you get them locks up. Make sure you give me a kiss on the tip of the face, and let's get right into the nonsense, because this is some spicy stuff, boys. I'm very surprised. And at one point, for no reason, Boogie took his clothes off after getting caught live on stream. Just took his clothes off. I don't really understand that part, but it's all good. It don't matter, I guess. It's all good. So here we go. So all these people are claiming, hey, why don't you just show the proof that you had this cancer? And Boogie said because he wanted to hold on to the last piece of privacy in his life. Now, the offer was, hey, here's $70,000 and you show it to one of the guys on the panel. They won't leak it. And if they do, who gives a fuck? In my opinion. But show it to one of the people on the panel, right? And they will confirm that that's what your diagnosis is. And then this is over. But Boogie still wouldn't do it. He still won't do it for $70,000. Now, this is the same guy that scammed people for just $10,000 a week ago. So how does a guy that scams people for $10,000 say no to $70,000 the next week over principle? That's absolutely ass backwards insane. Those two things cannot exist in the same spectrum. Those two things cannot exist from the same person. Risk your entire career to rob people for 10 grand or show a screenshot for 70 grand to prove you're not a liar. These things cannot exist in the same reality, right? Unless B is a lie, right? So there's two types of cancer, apparently. And Destiny was on the stream to blitz Boogie's ass. And technically one of them is not a cancer and the other one is a type of cancer. And Destiny's going to say it right here.
2 years ago, you said that you had a cancer diagnosis, but now you just said now they're doing a biopsy to check for cancer. Confirmation. Is this house MD? Are we treating a blood cancer without actually confirming it yet? For 2 years, you've been having a cancer treatment without confirming there's actually cancer there?
Because it was in my blood markers, and that's pretty goddamn definitive. You can Google that, Destiny. When you have the hormones, when you have the hormone in the blood that is produced by this cancer, it's pretty goddamn definitive. It doesn't show up for just the
2 years.
Oh, Boog. And you can slowly watch Boogie melt down. You can slowly watch Boogie like melting down in this stream. And what I'm probably going to do is just pull up the whole stream. That'd probably be a little bit easier. Because then we can just follow it in order and watch the world burn. Because it's brutal, man. It is absolutely brutal. So we're at the point now where Boogie's they're basically saying, "Hey, Boogie, I mean, okay, here's the issue." Medicare is like, "Hey, okay, so you do have cancer." Yes. Okay. You're looking at your patient portal right now. Yes. Okay. Take a screen cap and show it to Keem or Wings or Tommy or somebody or Jim. And then we'd be like, "Hey, I'm reading it. You're good to go." That's it. And he's like, "No, I won't do that on the principle that I don't want to show my privacy. I don't want to break privacy. I want to keep a little bit of privacy to myself since I've given the rest of everything to the world." He's been naked on camera. He's had sex with hookers. He's done everything in the world. But he won't show a screen cap that doesn't show anything else but a sentence that says what he has to one of these people for $80,000. It doesn't make sense. It does not make sense. You cannot take $10,000 from your audience and say you really needed the money, and then a week later say you don't want 80 grand. Those two things cannot exist in the same realm. Right? That's my opinion. Anyways.
Well, no, and here's the thing. I understand the privacy argument.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
I should have never went public with it.
No. Let me finish. I mean, you can redact information. There's no issue with that. But just show. I mean, it literally is just a page that says patient diagnoses.
Yep.
And then it lists what you have. It doesn't tell you who the doctor is. It doesn't tell you what hospital you go to. It literally just says the disease name.
And I won't be doing that.
But I don't understand why not.
Because he doesn't have cancer. He does have cancer.
Yeah, that's going to be the narrative they'll go with. So that's the
well, no, I mean, I'm legit trying to give you the benefit of the doubt. When I shit on you for the crypto thing, man, I said I'd take your word that you had cancer. I'd take your word that the medical shit's expensive.
Yeah.
So I mean, this seems like
I spent 2 years treating a disease that doesn't exist. These people used to be my friends.
See, this is the issue. It's not that he won't show proof. And Flynn brought up a great point. It's a chance to prove Keemstar wrong. It's not the fact that he won't show the proof. It is the fact that he won't show proof for $80,000. $80,000. Somebody that admittedly has money problems, somebody that a week ago scammed their audience for $10,000, now is suddenly saying no to $80,000 to show proof. That doesn't break any privacy because you can redact everything other than your diagnosis. Doesn't make any sense. That's why it makes no sense to me. Right? Yeah, basically the good news holographic is he doesn't have cancer. Turns out he's cancer free.
Can I ask you, I mean, when you got the diagnosis, how did they diagnose you? And can you say that at least?
Yes. We did a blood test, which we do every 3 months or 6 months regularly. They saw that my red blood cell counts were up. We had a conversation about that. I didn't think too terribly much about it. He said he wanted to check for blood markers for polycythemia vera. They look for a specific hormone in the blood that is produced. They found it. He called me and let me know that they found it. that means I have polycythemia vera and that we were going to treat it, but the treatment plan doesn't change very much because you cannot treat the cancer directly, so you have to treat the symptoms. And so for the last 2 years, we've been doing that. And one of the things I would like to do is because there is a chance that those blood markers are being brought on from another reason, even though it's invasive and expensive and pretty pointless. I was going to go ahead and push for the bone marrow biopsy because I would very much, now that I have a girlfriend and somebody that I love in my life, I would very much like for them to be wrong. And it's like a 1 in 1,000 shot, but I thought I would take it. And so that's how Destiny's come up with his LARP and all this other stuff.
Okay. So, and the bone marrow biopsy would be the conclusive test for this then? Or?
Yes. I mean, there's pretty much no other reason that the body would be producing this particular hormone, according to my doctor and according to everything I've read. But
Destiny's argument, Medicare, is that they wouldn't be doing the biopsy had they already made the confirmation to begin with. That's so. Now, I couldn't tell you if that's true or not.
I don't know what kind of cancer. I'll give you what happened with me, right? Mm-hmm. So I had a growth on the top of my head. It looked like a port of wine stain. Nobody really gave it much thought. You go and get some steroids. It's some, we don't know what it is. Mm-hmm. And for like a year, it was just flat, no issues. And then it started like wildly growing. And the doctor's like, shit, I don't know what this is. You should go into dermatology. So I go into dermatology, and the guy's like, oh, we gotta fucking biopsy this thing. We gotta take a look at this shit. So they do the biopsy. They're like, we've got to set it in for cell staining. On top of that, we're gonna do blood work and a PET scan. And then they also ordered a bone biopsy too. And did all that, and it took like a week, and I got everything back. And then they're like, conclusively, you have lymphoma. I mean, that's what's going on. That's a tumor.
After you got the conclusive, have you had biopsies since for separate reasons or to double check since you were diagnosed?
Yeah. So basically what happened was I got the diagnosis. Right after the initial biopsy, they set up some blood work, a PET scan, and then they did the bone biopsy just to see if it had spread. And then from that point onward, I didn't need extra biopsies. What they would do is they just do PET scan imaging because it'll make cancer light up in your body, like any areas or like any autoimmune stuff. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it took like a week, and it was definitive. It was cut and dry. It was like, this is what you have. This is what we're seeing under the microscope.
Yep.
So I don't know.
So that right there means that since Boogie's been diagnosed with cancer for 2 years, all of these things would have been done. Him claiming that he hasn't even had a biopsy yet to confirm, kind of sus. I mean, the overarching whole point of this entire thing is super sus. But other than that, yeah. Like is it not confirmed? Is it confirmed? What's going on here? Medicare gave a very, very nice, quick idea of the process. Yeah, Leon. So he said it said 2 years that he confirmed it. Yeah. Right.
It is a fairly different cancer. Number one, there's no attacking this one or treating it directly. And number two, the prognosis on it is 20 years. Like you pointed out, you have real cancer. I have the fucking starter kit of cancer, right? It's just a blood disease, realistically. It does 5% of people in the first 10 years have it convert to leukemia. I think it's a higher percentage after 20 years. The biggest risk is that it produces too many red blood cells in your blood, and that causes you to be at a higher risk of stroke or heart attack. And I'm already at an extremely high risk of stroke or heart attack. I mean, I'm just repeating myself at this point, but
I'm sorry, but did you say starter? Did you say starter kit? Like you haven't started having cancer?
The funny thing about all this is he's like, oh, you have 20 years, right? He's like, oh, you have 20 years. Like you have it easily 20 more years because this isn't very serious. Boogie doesn't have 20 years. So why even mention this? So here's a good point. He just had starter cancer. Baby's first cancer is what he's kind of implying there. But if he was diagnosed with something legitimately 2 years ago, and they're like, oh, you don't have to worry about this. You have 20 years. And then he goes immediately to YouTube to make a video saying he has cancer. What? Oh, you have 20 years, bro. You're not. Boogie doesn't have 20 years. Boogie's in his 50s, I think, now, and he's 500 pounds. He will be dead within like 10 years at minimum. You can't live from this shit. You cannot be obese for 50 years. Morbidly obese. He will be dead within 10, maybe less.
Everybody on this fucking stream look like the world's biggest assholes for doubting
you. They'll pick it apart, then they'll say I'm lying again. They'll say the proof isn't enough. The web portal's not enough. Now I want a fucking medical record. Now I need to see a fucking list.
What about your peers?
Not gonna do it. Not gonna do it.
I would straight up apologize.
We don't work together
for doubting you.
Yeah, we don't work together anymore. We're good. We're good.
What do you mean we don't work together?
I'm leaving the internet. I'm good.
No, you're not.
This is what doesn't make sense to me. If you're in the right, if these assholes are persecuting you and you have cancer,
would you want to sit in here with these people for 2 nights a week? Because I don't.
I don't know. What are you paying? What are you paying, Keem? What are you paying?
He's getting paid to pay his mortgage from this show. He's manipulating right now.
I'll take his mortgage. Fire his ass. I'll take his mortgage.
Yeah, get on the show. Yeah, it'd be fun. That's a good replacement. I'm proud of that. That's a very good replacement, Jim.
But why would you leave? I don't understand. If you're in the right, if you have cancer, if they're the assholes, if you could make them look like cunts and make money, why would you leave the internet?
Here's the screenshot of it right here.
See, Medicare is making a great point. This makes no sense. None of it makes sense. Why not just come just say it? Just say it. Or just show the thing to. I would show everybody on the internet. I don't give a fuck. I'd prove everybody wrong immediately. Like, I don't know, because this is kind of similar, but not similar. When I left GameStop, I like walked out, but I was going to be fired regardless. And I filed for unemployment. So when I filed for unemployment, because I got terminated, what was it? HR or LP? I think it was HR. The tool man. He said I was taking a non-approved break while on the clock before the store opened. So basically I was just sitting at my desk, doing whatever I needed to do. And if I didn't do anything, if there was nothing to do, I'd be on my phone or something. And they were like, you can't do that. That's a break. And I'm like, what? The store's not open. There's no customers in the store. What am I supposed to do? What they want you to do is technically they're just looking for a reason to fire you. But what they would want you to do is walk around the store and like act like you're doing stuff when there's nothing to do. That's kind of what they're implying. But even if your store's good to go, whatever. And every manager sat at their desk. That makes no sense. So I knew I was going to be terminated for that. So I left and I filed for unemployment, which was obviously denied. And it said the termination reason was time card fraud. Well, some random ass person, like a random person, from out of nowhere, they started making hate videos on me, and they claimed they knew me or something. And I looked at them and I looked at their video and I had no idea who this motherfucker was. I had no idea. They didn't even live in the same state and they knew who I was apparently. And they claimed that I was fired from GameStop for like sexually assaulting some female. Keep in mind, there was no females on staff at my GameStop, by the way. So they were literally making this shit up to get clout. And it was when I was doing the PlayStation 5 launch streams back in the day. Because we had like 30,000 watchers. It was crazy. We were trending on freaking video games. And this person out of nowhere comes out and says I sexually assaulted somebody, and that's why I was fired. So my happy ass hears about this. And my next stream, when I fired it up, I pulled out my denial from the unemployment office, and I pulled it up and showed it on stream, and it said your unemployment request was denied on the basis for termination, and it said time card fraud right there. If I would have assaulted somebody, not only would I have been probably arrested and charged, maybe have a felony, maybe misdemeanor, something that you could look up immediately, it would also say that I was fired for sexual misconduct or something, right? So I just showed it. Like, what are you doing? No, fuck you. I have a freaking document. Like, eat my ass. They were claiming I like lived in Mississippi. It was the stuff they were saying was completely off the wall. Usually people that are trolling are like They'll say stuff that is pretty close. You know, you're in Alabama. Yeah, I am. Okay. This person wasn't even kind of close. It was weird. So, like, why not just show these people that are calling you a liar and make them look like an asshole and pocket $80,000? Why would you not do that? Because he's lying. There is no other reason, unless you are to tell me that Boogie somehow out of nowhere has principles and morals and wants to keep his privacy to himself. After filming himself in his room naked, bouncing around, saying one for me, one for my hooker, and doing all the things possible that you can possibly imagine, freaking pulling a gun on dudes, shooting in the air, getting arrested for that. You know, everything, showing his girlfriend half naked right when he starts dating her because she's not fat. So that means he won. And he shows pictures of her almost naked, shows a coin, steals $10,000 from people, still puts his girlfriend in underwear and puts her in the background of all his videos when he's trying to push that coin to rug pull and steal from his fans, which was last week, by the way. And now he suddenly has principles. That's bullshit. That's bullshit. I have more principles than Boogie by a mile, and my happy ass would show that document within a breath to get 80 grand. Within a breath.